What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back. It is your girl here for Power. I can't remember the name of this episode. I'll put it down below. Dances with the Devil by the Pale Moonlight. Oh, y'all, this was a crazy episode. Oh, I don't have any notes, but I did watch the episode twice, so let's get into it. New to my channel, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Hit that subscription bell. Don't forget the thumbs up. It's like saying, hey, Miss Honey. And don't forget to comment down below. Let's talk about Power. First of all, raise your hand if you do not know Keisha and Tommy's new address. I mean, because everybody knows it. If you don't know it, you the only one. You the only one that don't know it. Okay? Everybody knows Tommy and Keisha's new address at their house in the suburb. I think it's in Long Island. Okay? That's a whole mess, but we gonna talk about it. Now, first of all, let's talk about who running amok on this episode, because this is important. Sax is running amok. Okay? He has decided if he can just prove that Tommy killed Angela, okay, that he can tie Ghost into it. He's not giving up. Even though he's on administrative leave, he's not giving up. Okay? Dre rolls up on him and wants him to take that ankle bracelet off. He don't want to take it. Why? How did you find out where I live? I mean, why did you put the ankle monitor on? Like, I know you're not trying to call nobody into moral questioning here. Why are any of y'all doing any of the low down backhanded things that you're doing? Anyway, Dre was like, I followed you. I want this ankle bracelet off. Not until you get me something on St. Patrick. I don't have anything to give you on St. Patrick. You need to get this ankle monitor off. No, you on your own till you bring me something. You got to bring me something. Okay, so then with the little bit he gets from Dre, which much or nothing, he goes to Blanca's house. Rodriguez. He goes to her house, meets her wife, and she's cold at the door. The wife cold at the door. He's not welcome there. But he piques her interest when he lets her know that he feels as though he could possibly get Keisha to testify, because Keisha is the one that gave an alibi. Okay? And if we can get her to tell what really happened in that situation, see, he done learned from Dre that Tariq is the one that he gave the address to the road cop. And ironically, Keisha was the one that alibied Tariq. So when Blanca hears this, she's like, aha, because remember, she's the only one that's not buying this charming good guy, I'm just a wounded kid routine that Tariq continues to put down. So she goes and looks through her paperwork, and she finds a couple of other things. The fact that someone named Eric Stark went to pick up the ashes of Canaan, and his only son was dead. So who is this Eric Stark? And looks on the camera, pulls the camera footage, and it's Tariq. Okay. Oh, this is a tangle mess. Now, we knew that whole shooting situation with the road cop and Tariq was going to come back and bite them in the butt. It was just too much going on. But because it was too many loose ends, but because Angela was in play, she was not fully investigating. She was helping, here and there, knowingly and unknowingly. So this is how they've gotten away with it for this long. So Stax goes and hits up Keisha. He goes to her house, threatens her. She stands her ground. He goes to Tariq's school and low-key threatens him. Tariq tells him to buck off because he know that it's illegal as heck for him to be trying to question him without his parents. And he takes all of this over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez says, okay, well, we can work together and I'll try to help you get back on. Now, everybody has got something that they want and they'll give you something in exchange, but that really just depends. That really just depends, okay? You can't make a deal with nobody. Nobody can be trusted in this season. No one. Not mothers and sons, not sons and fathers, not brothers, not friends, good Judys. No one can be trusted. Not the police, not the FBI, not children's services. No one can be trusted. Not the people running for governor or the people helping them to win the race for governor, Ramona. Okay. And, she goes on her own investigation. She goes and hits up Ghost. Blanca does. Ghost pays her dust. He does, in fact, leave a glass of booze behind in his club. And she takes the glass and she dusts it for prints, where she learns, or checks it for DNA, where she learns that his DNA is 50% of the DNA that was found at the scene of the apartment of the road cops, That means that whoever is the owner of the blood droplets, this individual has to be their father because he has 50% of the DNA that was found in that blood droplet. But we took us forever to find out the trajectory of the bullet that hit Angela, so that we know that we don't need to be spinning our wheels trying to say that Ghost did it. But that's fine. Whatever. Okay. So, like I said, she goes to visit Keisha. She stands her ground. Now, mind you, when she goes to see Keisha, she pulls Keisha and Cash over. Okay, but we're gonna talk about that. Meanwhile, Tariq is footloose and fancy free. He's got his mama teaching him the game. All he got to do is go to school and show up. He's a naturally smart kid. What he has, though, is a teacher who is clearly and obviously on drugs. Like, the moment that he came on the scene, I was like, this dude is on something. Like, you could just tell, red rimmed eyes, just real scruffy, real anxious, real twitchy. And he holds Tariq back after class, asked Tariq if he was holding. He talked to somebody at Chode, a good friend of his, a colleague, and said he got kicked out for drugs. And he want to know if he holding. He searched Tariq's bag. And Tariq is cool and calm about the situation, but he goes back and he tells his mama that he thinks that the teacher not only is on drugs, but sells drugs. And he thinks he could be a good Ramirez. Now, at the time he tell her this, she also giving him the rules for the game. You don't use your own product. You don't steal. I forget what else she said. Don't lie to me or something. Well, why would you give product to a dude that is clearly twitching? Like, it don't seem smart. They come up with an idea that they can use this guy to sell drugs, but he don't know who it is that is providing him with the drugs. He just got a cell phone with it and a text that says, sell this, put the money back in the trunk, and then I re-up you, right? So I already see it coming. Tariq gonna have to roll up on this dude for not returning the money and keeping the product and being strung out on the product. That's an obvious thing. So we're gonna move Tariq into this place where he becomes more violent. He is forced to become more violent, more rooted into the drug dealer type lifestyle. Now, it bears mentioning that Tariq has still really got it easy right now as a drug dealer. He's kind of got it easy. His mom is doing the books. He goes to school. He's got a safe place to stay. He doesn't have to hide his stash, anymore. He doesn't have to, carry a knife and fend for himself. He don't have to run the block to keep from getting stopped. He's not in a gang. He don't get jumped in. He ain't being shot at or gunned down down. Like, this is not normal drug dealer lifestyle. Like, normal drug dealer lifestyle, it's a lot of looking over your shoulders. It's a lot of double checking, moving your stash, this place, that place, not keeping a certain amount of money on you, not keeping a certain amount of drugs on you, being able to trust people, being able to threaten people, being able to keep people in their place, keep people loyal. You know, like, it's not for the faint of heart at all. So he still got it pretty easy, but I'm telling you, we're gonna see where Tariq is forced to be violent with this teacher for handling his money and his drugs wrong. Watch what I tell you. Now, Tasha is teaching Tariq the game. She shows and gives him a lump of money. Y'all remember how the Cosby did it with Theo, and he said, you got this amount of money, you know, you said, except you want to take a girl out, except you want to take her to the movies, except you need a new outfit, but you got to pay rent, and you got to put gas in your car, and when you get done, you're left with nothing. Same thing, you got to pay your premieres, whatever they call them. You gotta pay your re-up. You got to get more product. You got to pay somebody to launder the money. You know what I'm saying? You got to find somebody to launder the money. Like, the money gets gone fast, which is why you got to keep money coming. You got to be smart with it. You got to keep making it. You got to split that dope so that you can come out with more than enough to handle your responsibilities, as well as having a profit for yourself. Now, her mama walk in when she got all this money on the table, and she quickly shoves it in the drawer. And her mama have one of the realest conversations that I've heard now in probably about 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, her mom is like, what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking? You cannot do this with your son. You're going to lose your son. I've already lost my son, Mom. I'm trying to get him back. And, you know, what's your problem anyway? The drug game is paying for your house. No, y'all need Jesus. Y'all need to have some serious soul searching as a family. You and that son. This is not going to end well. Okay. Meanwhile, Tariq is going over to James's to get his tuition check. Goes over there, and just as I suspected, that little gun to the head threat that James thought was so powerful and life-changing for Tariq was bull crap. Tariq was like, ghost. You ever call me ghost again, I'll kill you. Ghost. Yeah, once you show any measure of weakness, like the minute you didn't take him up, you didn't go through with the fact that you would bring him to the brink of death if he called you ghost again. The minute you walked around him and shrugged it off, he already knew he got you. It's done. It's a wrap. You get 0 points. You get 0 respect from Tariq. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's never going to respect you again. Now, he might cry over your body. Probably won't be able to help it, but respect you, it's just not gonna happen. He should have body slammed him hard to the floor and punched him in his throat. Now, if he had did that, he'd have thought twice about calling him ghost again. These are the rules. I don't make them. But you promise your child you're gonna do something. If they do something, you best the doggone do it. You best to make it doable, and you best the doggone do it. Cause if you flake out, they feel like it's a wrap. You a pushover. They can do whatever they want going forward, and you ain't finna do nada. In come Ramona. And he takes this opportunity to Tariq to ask some questions, find out what Ghost got going on, and shade Ghost. He tells her that she think he would be good for governor, and she tells her, he tells her, don't y'all do background checks and stuff on people for y'all willy-nilly let them run for governor? And Ghost ushers him on up out of there. You should have body slammed him. You should have throat punched him. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk real quick about this whole Tate situation. Tate is going to do a debate, and Ramona wants Tate to, I think, consider James for being his lieutenant governor, which I was just like, is it that easy to run for? I guess, I don't know. Anyway, Tate don't want to have no parts of it because he feels that Ghost is taking little by little by little every inch and piece of what he has stolen and now calls his empire. And he feels him taking it little by little, the people, the money, the position, the accolades, the respectability. He feels Ghost stealing it little by little. In walks Ghost and Derek. Derek is the guy whose wife Tate was banging on the regular. And he splits off from Ghost, and Tate is talking to Ghost, but he's back to, Ninja, do you think I care? Well, I want to talk to you about the Queen's Child Project, and I feel like, you think anybody cares about the Queen's Child Project? Don't nobody care about that. And I have to say, honestly, he's right, James. You're the only one. You're the only one that spent more time on this Queen's Child Project than you did with the actual child whose legacy is supposed to be. That's all I gotta say. And he goes on to say a couple of other off-color things about Caucasians and poor people, and it, in that real guttural way. He thought he was talking privately, but he was mic'd up, and Derek had gone up and paid the dude to turn the mic on. And so it was broadcast all throughout the studio, including his opponent heard it. Okay, and so Ramona comes up. Oh my goodness, Tate, the look on his face when he looked out there and saw that everybody had heard what he had said. Basically, he felt like he was ruined. But Ramona came up with the idea that he would announce that James was gonna be his running mate, and this would keep James from being offered the running mate position from his opponent, which I didn't see that as happening. It seemed kind of like it was a setup to get Tate to do what they wanted him to do, Ramona and James. Although Tate says to her that you have no idea who you're dealing with. You have no idea the person that you're dealing with, right? When they talk about it. Anyway, James ends up not showing up at this press conference where they were going to make the announcement, and Tate was humiliated. He's ruined, and he's going to stop the Queen's Child's Project. He's had the city pull all the permits for it, all of this. So Derek is out and Ghost is out, but Ghost is never really out because Ghost stays manipulating. He is constantly manipulating every little pawn on the board. He stays manipulating it, right? So that's a whole debacle. That's a whole mess. I don't know how James is going to explain it later on to Ramona as to why he didn't show up. Where he was him and Tommy was over at Sax's house, having him tied up with a plastic bag around his head, mollywopping him, gonna bring him into the light. You know what I'm saying? He gonna take him to the pearly gate where he gonna get his judgment and get his elevator ride down to the basement. But Sax gives him a little information. Yeah, he first tried to separate Ghost and Tommy by saying, he killed Angela, talking about Tommy. And more information comes out that they know about this. And so he feels like Ghost feels like Sax knows that we will kill him. And he's no longer with the department. He found that out, I think, from Rodriguez when Rodriguez went to talk to him. And now we can run him. Now we can own him. Okay, he gonna be an inside man. How he gonna be an inside man and he don't even work for the people no more? That don't make no sense. But Ghost spares him. It seems like the only two people who got 9 lives in this season is Sax and Dre. Anyway, Blanca done rolled up on Keisha, and she has had cash pulled out the car Now, Cash already having a hard time. He in suburbia. He don't know nobody. His mama pick him up, drop him off. He don't walk to school by himself. Now, I don't understand why he was walking to school by himself in the city, but okay. And she having a hard time. It's so peaceful and so quiet. She wanted this, but it's going to take some getting used to. They get pulled over, and she goes through the routine. They want to show us how to behave when the cops pull you over, and it's an important moment. You know, they pull Cash out the car and put him in the back of the police car and say they taking him down to the system. Okay, to the child protective system, and they gonna keep him in there unless she tell what's going on. She agreed to be a witness. Now, she don't need no lawyer present. She asked for a lawyer, and they was like, okay, fine, but Cash is going into the system, and by the time you find him, if you find him, I was just like, they would have had to tell me that in front of her boss. They would have had to tell me that in front of my lawyer, in front of her boss, tell me that they don't know where my child is. They couldn't find me and I couldn't have my child back. I don't know why she didn't insist on a lawyer. I mean, maybe she would have called Proctor if Proctor had not been gunned down 2 episodes earlier. But anyway, Keisha panics, as she does every time she sees Blanca, and she signs the paper. She gets a copy and get a lady a copy. They get Cash back, and she make Cash swear not to tell anybody. Now, does she emphasize, please, 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 whatever you do, don't tell Tommy? No, she doesn't. She just said you can't tell anyone. Okay? Tommy goes and takes Cash to basketball practice because they are just a regular suburban family, right? Cash goes to basketball practice, but first he wants to talk to Tommy about if he did everything right when the police pulled him and his mama over. When the police pulled your mama over earlier today, and I was scared, but I did what you said to do, and everything was fine. Did I do okay? Yes, you did fine. Go on and play the game. He go back to the house. He talked to Keisha. Keisha, what happened today? Oh, nothing. Light shopping. Bridge with the girls, and throws a bunch of glasses down. Stop lying to me. You got pulled over by the police. What happened? Well, what she don't tell him, what she does tell him finally is that, one, Kate came over earlier that day. She had to throw Kate behind out because Kate was trying to commandeer a bedroom, a space on the mantle, a place on the sofa, okay, and a wedge between her and Tommy. And Keisha wasn't having it. But before Kate got thrown up out of there, Keisha said, get your shit and get out of here. Before she got thrown out there, she told what happened to Holly, that Holly was disloyal to Tommy, and Tommy killed her with his bare hands, which we know he did. And that same thing gonna happen to her if she ain't loyal. Well, good. If she wasn't loyal, she deserved to die. And then that's when she throw her on up out of there. So now that he's questioning her, she's telling him she didn't tell the police nothing. They tried to threaten her, but she didn't tell them nothing. Well, why would you lie to me? I lied to you because your mama came over here and told me what really happened to Holly. And I thought if you knew I had even talked to the police, that the police had even pulled me over, you would kill me. He was so humiliated and infuriated that somebody knew his dirty secret. That is just one of the secrets. If they knew that you not only strangled Holly, but then drove out to suburbia and bashed her stepfather in the head repeatedly until he covered all of the walls and the ceiling as a form of grief counseling, grief rehabilitation, as a part of your grieving process for killing Holly, you go and kill her stepfather. She would really, really run scared. Okay, he tells us, she says, why would you bought this house, and what if something happens to you, and how am I gonna pay for all the time? The house is in your name and in my name. How she don't know that? Don't y'all both sign papers when y'all closing? Like, who signed your name on the paper? The house is paid for. Whose house is this? Who has sold you a house where he has signed it? Okay. Okay, whatever. So she's having second thoughts. She wants to call down to Rodriguez and tell Rodriguez that she is not going to be able to do it. She changed her mind. It was under duress. And Rodriguez was like, no, the people on their way now to take you in the wit sack. Really? They would have just took you both. They would have just took you both down to the station. Like, you would have never went back to that house again. They don't let you go and get stuff. They don't do that. That's how you end up dead, right? But I digress. Anyway, she tell them, never mind. Don't send nobody to the house. She gonna go pick up cash from basketball practice and come and get and come to them. Now, she was really planning on absconding, disappearing from the police and from Tommy. She feel like she in between a rock and a hard place. But first, she got to pack up several suitcases. What about your business, girl? What about your business? Have you thought any of this through? Were you thinking about any of this during all of this back and forth with Tasha? You ain't got nobody. Nobody. Cash's daddy is a ex-con, in and out of jail. You ain't thought about none of this, girl. You should have got in your car, went and got your son, and made do. I know Tommy done left you some cash somewhere and made do. And made it do what it do. You should have been out there like Jennifer Lopez and enough. But nope. You got everything packed up. You still ain't went and got cash. Tommy done went and got cash. Tommy go get cash and take him to the jewelry store. They gonna buy an engagement ring for his mama, and they gonna go together and ask the mama with some flowers, Keisha, to marry him or be with him forever, you know. And meanwhile, Tasha has learned the truth that they have discovered that Keisha was the alibi. They have discovered blood droplets in the road cop's apartment that has something to do. I don't know if they knew about that part, but they know that Keisha's the weak link. So she goes over to talk to Keisha. Now everybody know but Tommy. Okay, nobody's bothered to call Tommy at all. Tasha goes right over to the new house, bamming on the door, and Keisha answers the door. I know you in there. I know you in there. Answer this door. Okay. Instead of her stepping outside and talking to Tasha and getting all that straight with Tasha right then and there and sending Tasha on her way, no, what does she do? What does she do? She let her in. First thing Tasha gonna do is look around the new house. That's what women do. They look around to see what you got going on right there in the immediate space. Then she spots the bags going somewhere. She already told you need to keep Tariq's name out your mouth. Now, why would you approach her in this manner? Why would you approach her in this manner? You want her to be cool, calm, and collected. I don't know why everybody approaching her with this threatening tone. She already scary boots, right? Oh, you leaving? You going somewhere? I'm leaving because I don't know what she told her, but Tasha looks over and sees the paper. Now, why do you have this agreement out in plain sight on the dresser? Now, you going up and downstairs bringing bags back and forth and all of this, and you got this paper out like... What is this? You signed the papers? You signed the papers? I had to. They was going to take cash. Tasha, they was going to take cash. You signed the paper, but they was going to take cash. Tasha, please just let me go. I'm going to disappear. You don't have to worry about me no more. This going to protect Tommy and protect Cash. No, you ain't going nowhere. You going to sit here until Tommy get here. And immediately Keisha looks over at her handbag. Now, when she looked over her handbag, I knew at that point that this is the inevitable was going to happen. I knew that Tasha was going to be responsible for Keisha's death. I could tell, one, by the way Tasha was dressed and Keisha was dressed. I could tell the moment she looked over at their handbag and Tasha saw her look over at their handbag, and then she ran over and they wrestled over the handbag and the gun. I think Keisha gets slung and she gets a lamp and she knocks the gun out of Tasha's hand, and they scramble on the floor with the gun and they've got it and they're trying to get it. Both of them got the shock face. You don't know who been shot first. Ooh. Keisha looked down. We know it's Keisha. Oh, Tasha. Falls to the ground. Tasha, please. Tasha standing over with the gun. She thinks about it. Tasha, please think of Cash. Then Tasha say to herself, you can see it on her face. You thinking about Cash, I'm thinking about Tariq. I'm not going to lose my son because you weak. Huh? Because you weak, because you puny, because you wasn't built for this life, and shoots her in the head. Immediately, panic sets in, grabs the gun, grabs the paper off the dresser, and runs out. She don't even close the door good. It's a horrible scene. It's a horrible scene, especially when you've been with this character for a while. It's a horrible scene. Tommy comes in, and like I said, they paint it as this moment where Key and Cash come home. He realizes that the door is he sends Cash back to the car to get flowers. Walks up to the door. He sees the door ajar and looks through the side door window, and he sees Keisha laying there in the blood, and he has the presence of mind to send Cash back to the car and tell him to wait there. And Cash gives him a little bit of an argument, but wait there. Don't move until I come get you. He makes sure Cash goes ahead and gets in that car because, children can't be trusted. Goes inside and he falls to now Keisha is laying in a pool of blood and whatever else all around her head, and her eyes are open, big beautiful eyes with a hole in the center of her head and blood running down. He falls on his knees and he is buckets and buckets of tears. Like, this is the ultimate love of his life. No. I wouldn't say she's the love of your life. What I would say is that you're in a place where you wanted to settle. And Keisha was a good place to settle. And you went so far as to buy a home and take her son as your own and the whole nine. Your investment was a lot. I don't think your love was a lot. Because if your love was a lot, if it was rooted in anything, you guys would never ever have gotten to this point. I'm telling you. If you loved her, everybody wouldn't have known where y'all live. Like, they said that Keisha was talking about it down at the beauty parlor, left and right, and that's how people found out. That's how Rodriguez found her. All this, that, and the third. But how did Tasha find you? Like, it was meant to be this sad, emotional moment. But I felt the same way about this as I felt about Angela getting killed. Like, it was pretty much the same thing. Now we see where Dre is supposed to be working with Blanca. He agreed to help Blanca. He gave her all of this information about Tariq and the address, and in exchange, all he wanted was that ankle bracelet off and to nail doggone Sachs. He signs an affidavit saying all the things that Sachs did. Sachs is terminated. He is fired. It's the end of it. Now, he tries to tell the story about how Ghost and Tommy, but wasn't nobody believing him. Ain't nobody believing nothing you have to say, really. And even though I witnessed it all when he was telling it, I was like, that sounds like a lie. But we still have not seen the last of Sachs. I promise you, we have not. And this whole thing with Tariq, him being a cool, smooth drug dealer, is about to boil over as well. I hope they don't think that James is about to just outright run for governor now that Tate is out of the race. I don't know how Tate gonna come out of a box. Like, I don't know how these next few episodes, because I think in November it's supposed to go on freeze until next year. So we're going to see how they crescendo it up to this mid-season break. And at this point, we only really have a few people left to get shot and killed. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this episode. It was okay. Until next time, honeybees. Mwah, 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 mwah.